Oh, wait a minute. This is what I keep. It's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Vicki, we had some snow this week, but we all good right now.
I think most of oh God, George. And how long have I lived here? And it's still that first snow always gets me. It
And
just,
that cold that, when it
woo,
gets in the 20s, that
yes.
cold. But listen,
But
Vicki mad at me, y'all. So here's what happens. Vicki and I do our segment, then she sits back and listens to the rest of the show. Well, sister blew up my phone this week. She said, brother, what you talking about on those man waves? So I'll tell you what I was talking about. So there was a report this week. I got to find what she said, sort of, kind of, if I can get to it. But she lit up my phone, brother. What you saying to the people? Okay, so here's what I was saying to the people. So there was a report. Okay, yeah. So there was. She said, "Listen, brother, what you talking about?" She didn't say it's quite like that, but I'm cleaning it up for the
people,
radio.
are you cleaning up?
Okay. No, she was nice, but she said, your message about Micron is not accurate. That's what she told me. I said, what you mean, Vicki? So this is what I said. I had the tape. I listened to the tape. I said, basically, there was a report, a news report, that Micron said that its construction of the plants, the what do they call, Vicki?
The
Chip plants.
fabs,
The
chip, chip
chip
fab, fabrication plants. Okay.
chip fabrication plants was going to be delayed 2 to 3 years. So Vicky said, "Nah, bruh, that ain't right." And then she said, then we had more conversation. Yeah, and you sound like you were becoming a negative Nelly, right? She didn't use those words, but you get the point. And I was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "All I was doing is saying that the naysayers, this is their sort of, yeah, see, I told you so, like, kind of thing." And Vicky said, well, we've been talking about this for years, and I was telling you just a couple of weeks ago to get on the train, and Mayor Owen said, get on the train. But I was just reporting what I read.
But you
And
didn't read the sentences. Sometimes the commas are in the wrong place.
right.
When you put the commas in the wrong
Right,
place,
right,
the
right. All right.
interpretation of what you get is incorrect. And that's what I
So
was telling you.
that's what she was telling me. So we are here, ladies and gentlemen, to set the record straight and have a
If you read, Kate, first of all, George, I'm so glad we're doing this because it really is. It's like if you come home at night late.
yeah.
I'll give you an example.
Uh-huh.
You came home at night late from work,
Yes.
and your sweetheart said, "Where you been?"
Yep.
versus "Where have you been?"
Uh-huh.
The interpretation of those two same words,
Same words.
but what they really mean is quite different.
Yeah.
One is very negative and one is concerned for.
Right,
Okay?
right,
And what
right.
I was saying is that the article, and I think there was an amazing response for those of you who are on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
You may want to pull up the response from the president of Center State CEO Robert Simpson, or everybody knows him as Rob Simpson, because he really nailed it. But what was really unfortunate in the way that the article was written is that it was written as though there is a delay in the project starting.
Right.
And there is no delay in the project starting. What was communicated by Micron is it is going to take longer to build it.
Mm.
Not
So
that
that's
there's
what those are the commas, right?
exactly,
Because
those are the
those are
commas.
the commas.
Okay.
Right, right.
It's going to take longer to build it. Not that there's a delay in starting, as though something is not going to happen. And so that's why I said you are reporting this inaccurately,
Right.
because right now we are constantly, Mayor-elect Owens alluded to it, and we have done the same thing before. Syracuse, we talked about our secret sauce being our
Resiliency.
resilience, but Syracuse, our negative secret sauce is that we always doubt good things will happen to us.
Well, Vicky, I don't want to give you a track record of all of the things that didn't happen.
Listen,
But we've earned that reputation very well.
okay,
Okay.
and that's why we're working so hard
right. But
to
here's
keep
the
everybody above water,
yeah.
keep everybody focused on the fact that when you read something, take a breath and step back and read it again to really
But
see what's there.
but
Okay.
even the article as it was written gave that perception.
Yes,
That's why Rob
and so
Simpson,
I
right?
got to go find those people at Syracuse.com because I'm gonna jack them up too.
Right,
Because
because that's why
okay,
Rob had to come back and
exactly.
correct the record, because we were all of us were left with that. And I didn't see his piece until you said, well, look at what Rob Simpson said, right?
Okay,
And
and
I
so
don't
what
think
he
he
was
wrote
pointing.
that to the Syracuse. I don't think he sent a letter to the editor either.
No,
He
this
just
was
put
for
it
the public, okay,
right, right,
because it was so important that we not let that impression set in because there is going to be it's going to take longer to build it. But
right.
also, County Exec Ryan
Mm-hmm.
came out and said the same thing. Make sure you understand what's being said here. So here's the real deal. The Micron Environmental Impact Review, which was the last stage of the process in order to start construction, has been completed, clearing the way for a December groundbreaking. The challenges and all the things that had to be done for that have been completed. And what we're expecting right now is that Micron will soon have everything they need to start clearing trees this year and start building construction next spring as planned. I love the way county exec said it. He said if he had to go out there with a truck himself and cut down the trees, he was going to do it. Okay. But everything has been done. Permits are being issued so that they can start clearing trees and start building construction next spring. But yes, because of some things that are happening across the country, not just here in Syracuse, for example, America right now has been wrestling for a while with shortages as far as laborers.
Right.
And there are several fabs being built at the same time because the emphasis for national security reasons is to reshore this industry. So a lot of laborers are needed, and we're trying to do several things at the same time. Have you ever built a house from scratch, George?
I've not. No.
Listen, I have had clients do it and I have begged them not to do it. You know why?
Why?
Because when you start from scratch, down at dirt level, you have so many moving parts that you're always going to have some areas of delay within the building process.
Right. Maybe
In
the
order,
materials are
the
back
materials
order.
don't show up.
Right.
All of a sudden, okay, it's raining too hard, and so we
Right.
can't.
Right.
The ground doesn't dry out. Okay, we get a storm, all kinds of things that can happen because you put. So think about the size of the fabs that are being built here, plus that same type of process in two or three other locales around the country. So yes, it will take longer to build. But the implication was based on the way the story was written and based on what I felt in your attitude was that it is not going to happen.
Nah, I
Okay,
am
and
not.
so
I
that's
didn't go
why I
that
blew
far.
up your phone in the middle of Sunday morning
Yes, she did.
service.
Yes, she did. But and then I said, well, Vicki, let's straighten this out for the listeners, because I wasn't going that far, and I did have some. This is what they're saying, and this is what the naysayers are saying. I didn't say I was one of them, and I'm not one of them.
Okay.
So I
All
want to
right.
correct the record.
All right. So the record is now corrected, and I want to say it again. And I loved, in fact, one of the things that Rob Simpson said in his article was, or his response was, I wonder how different his Friday night would have been if Syracuse.com headline had read the following: Micron Environmental Impact Review complete, clearing the way for December groundbreaking. Because that is the truth.
Right.
Okay, instead of leading with a comment that was made within that review that it's going to take longer, 2 or 3 years longer to build. But it means the process is underway. It's just going to take longer.
There you go. All right.
Get on the train.
Record corrected, and we all good.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So can we move on to this week?
Let's go.
First of all, or secondly, I want to make sure everybody heard me last week concerning February 22nd. February 22nd is going to be the 18th, I can't believe it, George, 18th annual Black History Month Jazz and Arts Cabaret. Please make sure you put it on your calendar. Ticket sales will begin the week after Thanksgiving.
Right after, so that'll be November 29th, I think, something like that.
Right, the week after Thanksgiving. So based on our history now, I would tell you if you wait more than 10 days, you may have a difficult time getting a ticket.
Right.
Because we sold out so fast, and George doesn't have any special ones in his back pocket.
And Vicki, it ain't like we don't get those calls.
I know. Okay, like can you help me out here? Okay, like if they're sold out, they're sold out. So make sure that you are one of the 450 people that we expect in the audience that evening. More details to come soon on our performer. More details to come soon on some special changes that we're making with the event. But be sure and put that on your calendar. All right. George, I have some, what I wouldn't necessarily call it troubling, but more so almost like deja vu kind of news.
All over again.
All over again. Okay, here we go again. Do you remember the term subprime mortgages?
Don't tell me that's back.
Do you remember what subprime mortgages were?
Yeah, they're high rate interest loans and higher risk.
Why were they considered to be higher risk?
Because this is how I'm going to describe it.
Yeah.
The borrowers may have had not as good credit worthiness, if you will, or they were borrowers who may have had difficulty getting financed, and so these borrowers were financed at much higher rates than the market would normally get. So let's say mortgage, the average mortgage rate was 4%. I just do that number out.
It's hypothetical.
Right. These borrowers may have gotten the dream house of their dreams, but their mortgage rate may have been 9-10% or more.
Correct.
Subprime.
Okay. Subprime.
I did that all right? I did that.
You did. Okay. Okay. That comes from being around on this earth for a long time. Okay. 2008, 2006, and 2007, okay, which was the housing boom at the time. The banking industry decided to create another category of borrower. And that borrower was with an individual who did not necessarily meet the criteria of what we call prime lending. And when we prime lending, credit scores got to be 700, 750, 800 or above. That you had a debt to income ratio of 28 to 36%, 28% as far as the mortgage itself concerning the level of your income dedicated toward the mortgage, 36% plus your debts. These were prime lenders, the kind of individual who had shown financial responsibility, and that financial responsibility, at least on paper and in reality, looking at years and years and years of data, was going to lead to a higher propensity for them to pay their mortgages on time and for them to continue to live well in their homes. But then a different financial instrument was created. And the opportunity created by that financial instrument went to things like no documentation lending. Do you have the money? That's always good to close the deal. If you had the money to close the deal, then we weren't really going to look at your background as far as all of your delinquencies, your credit rating, debt to income ratio, any of those types of things. Or subprime, less than ideal criteria being met concerning your loans that you were getting as far as the mortgages were concerned. And that caused a great balloon of individuals who had the opportunity to own their homes, okay, or to buy.
And on paper, in the economy, that looks great.
Okay, exactly. It looked fantastic because the real estate market was on fire. Okay?
And for the lending institutions, this was a very profitable arena.
It was a very profitable arena. And then on top of it, we created the financial industry created a different level of what we call bundling of mortgages. And those mortgages created a new financial instrument that was used and sold to other lending institutions, where you had now bundling of prime mortgages with subprime mortgages. And the next thing we knew, we had the financial collapse of Lehman Brothers, because when all of that unwound, okay, and why did it unwind? Think about it. Very logical. Those individuals who had subprime mortgages and were paying anywhere from 2/3 to twice as much in interest, the minute there was any fluttering in their financial standing, loss of job, change in circumstance, or even just trying to keep up with their bills long term, those mortgages started to default. And as they started to default, it caused a rippling effect throughout the economy. And that as far as the bond market was concerned, and the banking industry started to crumble. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And there was a big movie called The Big Short. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, go watch it. Why am I spending so much time on this, George?
You know what? I bet there's something happening that we need to pay attention to.
There's something happening we need to pay attention to. Auto loan delinquencies hit 6.5% in October. Record subprime auto loan delinquencies hit 6.65, excuse me, not 6.5, 6.65% in October. That is a warning signal about the level of individuals who are now more than 60 days behind in their auto loans in the subprime borrowing category. Guess what, George? 2 banks became insolvent that are part of the subprime borrowing structure. And Jamie Dimon, who we all love to quote, okay, who's the head of the largest bank in the world, basically, Citibank, okay, said that on Tuesday that bankruptcies in the U.S. market are a sign that the corporate lending standards grew too lax in the past decade. So we have now, so they tightened up on the mortgages, but now because of the need for additional customers in the auto industry, there's been a loosening of the criteria for borrowing for an auto, because right now, and my mom said this to me. She said, your car costs more than my first house.
Wow.
And it's the truth, okay? And that was 15 years ago, George, okay?
Right.
Okay, when you're talking about trucks that are, what, $100,000? I've seen some, I said, what? Okay, a basic car, anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000, not a luxury car. Basic, good SUV and so forth. More auto loan payments anywhere from $400 to $700 for 72 months. Okay, the car may not drive 72 months. Okay,
right.
So what's happened is suddenly, and when I say suddenly, over the last 12, 14 months, on top of the inflation issues that we have, on top of the issues concerning life being too expensive, okay, in order to get a car, okay, many individuals, because of the ratio of qualifications, now are in the subprime category, paying higher rates than you would in prime, and the delinquency rates are starting to climb. And now that they're up to 6.65%, warning bells are going off. Okay. What does that mean for George and Vicki?
What does it mean?
Okay. First thing, pay attention a lot more to what's happening with your own credit cards and things of that nature. Secondly, this Christmas might be a good time to start looking at, particularly if you have family members who are beyond the age of what I would call really believing in Santa Claus.
Okay.
Okay. Cut back a little bit. Okay. Cut back a little bit so that you can save money over the Christmas holiday and enjoy your family more, but not necessarily go into more debt relative to your Christmas shopping. Third, if you can avoid buying a car, now I know sometimes because in upstate New York, your car has got to run well, because this time of year, you do not
got
want
to get
anything
there.
breaking down. Okay?
Right.
But if you can avoid buying a car for the next 6, 8, 12 months, do so. Okay? But pay attention, particularly to the news.
All right. I need to I need to ask further. Why wait on buying the car for a year if you can?
Why? Because I don't want you to make any more bills.
Oh, okay. Right now. Okay. Yeah.
Right now. I don't want you to make any more bills right now. And if the subprime mortgage, subprime auto loan category is where you would be because of your debt to income ratio right now, you really don't want to be in that category as far as borrowing right now.
That's right. And we're talking about you're not getting the prime rate for your auto.
You're not getting the prime rate for your auto, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Plus, the cost of autos right now, okay, is extreme, okay? Is absolutely extreme. But all along across, for all of us, this is one of those, what I would call canary in the coal mine kind of moments.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to stop and look, okay, and pay closer attention to what's happening in that particular market area. Now, the auto loan market is not near the size of homes, but it's still, okay, if we started to get a folding of banking institutions that specialize in those areas, the financial instruments that are part of our bond categories, part of our lending process, would have an impact on the economy. And so we just need to make sure that we are, as they say, on point and paying attention to what's happening going forward.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And I think right now, funds are owed about 715 million from companies that bought from first brand inventory. I mean, meaning one of those subprime lenders. So let's make sure that we pay close attention. George, I think at this point in time, I should be saying, if you have questions, I fooled you.
I was like, oh, don't, Vicki. Yes, you did. I was like, oh, Vicki, don't let me.
Have questions, please reach out at 315-930-4499. 315-930-4499 or at info@brackensfsn.com. And at this point in time, we will say our plate is now full.
Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. She is America's money maven.